Welcome to What the Tech, a legal bombshell just dropped that could seriously change the internet as we know it. We're talking about a jury holding Meta and Google, two of the biggest names out there, accountable for the very design of their platforms. So today, we're going to break down exactly what this verdict means, and most importantly, why it really matters to you.
Right, so for the first time ever, a jury has found both Meta and Google's YouTube negligent. And get this, it's not for what users post, but for the fundamental way their apps are built. This is a potential game changer for how big tech is held responsible for, well, anything.
And yeah, it comes with a pretty big price tag right out of the gate. The jury awarded $3 million in what's called compensatory damages to the plaintiff. But honestly, as we're about to see, this number is really just the tip of the iceberg in a much, much bigger story.
Okay, let's dive into the verdict itself. You have to understand, this isn't just another lawsuit. This is a decision that could literally rewrite the rules for social media accountability.
So let's look at the key facts here. Who was on trial? Meta, for Instagram, and Google for YouTube. And what happened? The jury found them negligent. They said their platforms were a substantial factor, that's legal speak for a direct cause, of the harm suffered by the plaintiff, Kaylee, who developed really serious mental health issues. And it's worth noting, TikTok and Snap were also in this lawsuit originally, but they decided to settle out of court before it got to this point.
So the big question is, how did the plaintiff's lawyers actually pull this off when so many others have failed? Well, for years, big tech has been hiding behind this powerful legal shield. This case found a crack in it. And here is the absolutely brilliant legal move that changed everything. For decades, these companies have used something called Section 230 as a shield. They just say, hey, we're just a platform. We're not responsible for what our users post. But this new attack completely flipped the script. It said, forget the content. The app itself is a product. And if that product is designed in a defective way that causes harm, the company is liable. It's a strategy that just walked right around the old defense, and you know what? The jury bought it.
So what exactly makes the app a defective product? Well, it's all the features we know and, let's be honest, are kind of addicted to. We're talking about infinite scroll, the thing that keeps you swiping down a rabbit hole forever. Autoplay videos that just keep rolling. Algorithmic feeds that are designed to figure you out and keep you hooked. Push notifications buzzing in your pocket. Even those appearance-altering filters. The argument here was that these aren't just features. They are deliberate design choices engineered to be addictive, and that's what makes the product defective.
And this quote right here from the plaintiff's counsel really gets to the core of it. They argued, using the company's own internal documents, that the leadership knew their platforms were hurting kids. They knew, and they repeatedly chose profits over children's safety. That's a powerful accusation, and it clearly hit home with the jury.
Okay, so the impact of this one single verdict goes way beyond this one courtroom. It is sending massive ripple effects across the entire tech industry.
And here's why it's such a big deal. This case was what's legally known as a bellwether trial. Just think of it like a test case. I mean, there are literally thousands of similar lawsuits just waiting in the wings. So the outcome here sends a huge signal about how all those future cases might play out. It basically sets the tone for everything to come.
And believe me, this is not happening in a vacuum. Just one day before this verdict, a jury in New Mexico ordered Meta to pay a jaw-dropping $375 million in a totally separate but related case. So when you put these verdicts side by side, you start to see a very clear and very expensive trend forming for these companies.
Okay, so that's the legal drama. But on this channel, we always bring it back to the news you can use. What does all this legal wrangling actually mean for you in your day-to-day life? Well, for parents, the takeaway here is crystal clear. The very features that were basically put on trial, like push notifications and those addictive feeds, are things you can actually control. So think of this as a call to action. Go audit your device settings. Turn off all those non-essential notifications. Use the content filters and screen time limits that are already built right into your phones and apps. You've got to start treating early exposure to these platforms as a serious risk factor.
And hey, if you're finding this kind of breakdown useful, this is what we do here at What the Tech. We cut through the noise to give you news you can actually use. So take a quick second to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. And definitely let us know in the comments what you think about this verdict.
This verdict was a huge battle, for sure. But make no mistake, this fight is far from over. So what happens next?
Here's a look at the road ahead. Right now, the same jury is deciding on punitive damages. These are designed to punish the companies, so they could be way, way bigger than that initial $3 million. Next up, you can bet Meta and Google are going to appeal this. They'll try to drag this out in court for as long as they can. And then in June, an even bigger federal bellwether trial starts, this time rolling up cases from all across the entire country into one massive showdown.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is this verdict just a fluke, a one-off? Or are we actually watching the first major cracks appear in that legal wall that has protected big tech for decades? That's the billion-dollar question, and we'll be here to cover it every step of the way. Thanks for tuning in.